It's Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel, for subscribing, for all the great letters, the prayers, all the support. None of this is possible without you. So I wanted to start out today by just giving thanks to all of you for this opportunity. Without further ado, I want to share some more data with you today, some news, my personal opinion. Love to know your opinion. Please comment down below. Those comments down below are some of the best comments anywhere on YouTube. So many people thinking outside of the box, so many people preparing, so many people waking up and waking up others. It's an incredible service that you're doing by commenting down below, because you have woken up so many people. But I want to start with this first article today from Gallup. Half in the United States say they are worse off, highest since 2009. You know, I watch a lot of news, I read a lot of articles, and we are being inundated, flooded daily, that everything is going great. Everything is doing wonderful. The economy has never been better. Unemployment the lowest in 50 years. Opportunity soaring. I totally disagree. I do read a lot of those comments. A lot of my friends read those comments. Family members read those comments. And there is one huge common denominator in those comments, and it is people are feeling the pain. People are losing jobs. People realize that this economy is collapsing, that we have huge economic trouble. And it is affecting everybody, either with employment or paying the electric bill or their utility bill or running a business. Most people in those comments agree that this economy is in horrible condition. And I was reading an article today from The Hedge, and it gave a list of signs that the U.S. economy is not fine. 74% of Americans believe interest rates will go up even higher in the next 6 months. We're being told that they're going to go down. Yet 74% of Americans believe that they're going to go higher. 67% of Americans believe inflation will go higher in the next 6 months, but we're being told daily that it's going to go down. So what's it going to be? What do you think? Only 36% in the U.S. believe that the economy will grow in the next 6 months. Only 31% believe the stock market will go up in the next 6 months. Only 29% expect unemployment will go down in the next 6 months. So at least the good news today is people are really waking up. And the more that people wake up and realize that things are not heading in the direction we're being told, well, those people hopefully are going to take action and protect themselves from this downturn. Boeing just announced it's going to slash 2,000 jobs this year, primarily in finance and human resources. More great news for the economy, right? Dell, as we just talked about the other day, just announced it's going to be laying off 6,500 workers. Zoom laying off 15% of its workforce. This will affect 1,300 of its employees. Impossible Foods laying off 20% of its workforce. They're probably on borrowed time. Bed Bath & Beyond closing 150 stores. There is a Bed Bath & Beyond about 3 miles from here. It will be closing. In total, 400 stores in the past year will have closed. They had a total of 950 at the height. Now, 400 of those stores will be closed very, very shortly. Existing home sales have fallen 11 straight months. Yet I watch the television, they interview the economists, they're interviewing the real estate agents, and it seems like it's never been a better time to buy a house. Today, 6.19% on a 30-year fixed mortgage. And they're telling us that mortgage applications are going up, that this is going to move the housing market. Just think, I mean, that's literally double from a year ago, 6.19%. That's the great news on an overvalued home. You should jump into the market. You should buy a house. It's never been a better time. And that this is a great opportunity for you now. I think it's a very foolish move. I don't give financial advice. Most of you know I'm looking at property in the South. And I'm not doing anything until I really begin to see things crumble. And we still see sellers holding out, believing this is a year or two ago. Things have changed, ladies and gentlemen. And sellers are going to realize this very, very soon, that buyers are waking up and buyers are going to hold out and wait. And many buyers are out of the market because they can't even qualify for a property now. Many buyers have lost a job. Many buyers don't qualify any longer with 6.19%. So they're out. So it's going to be a much, much more difficult housing market if you're a seller. And right now we're in kind of this stalemate. And at some point, the sellers are no longer, many of them are no longer going to be able to hold on with this house that they may not be able to afford, or that they have to sell, or they have to move. You know, a lot of different things come into play here. But if you look at somebody who's worth $1 million right now, maybe they're $1 million liquid and they don't have to sell their house, but you know, you don't know what's happening behind the scenes with their personal life, business, a divorce. All of a sudden, you know, one day they're $1 million liquid. Now they're 700,000 liquid. Okay, they're okay. What happens when it's 400,000 liquid and dropping? They're going to come to the realization, I need to raise capital. The price of my property is going down. Now you're going to be chasing the market as you're losing capital and in need of raising capital. You're going to have to sell something, whether that's your car, the RV, the boat, the house, something, in order to raise capital, because pretty soon you were worth $1 million a year ago. Now you're worth 300. What happens when all of it's gone? You're going to have to raise capital for a lot of people. And so those people who can afford to hang on right now, the question is, how long can they afford to hang on before they have to start selling the RVs, the boats, the houses, the motorcycles, the Rolex watches? That day is coming, and I believe we're getting much, much closer to that day where we're going to see a lot of people in that scenario. 57% cannot afford a $1,000 emergency. If this 57% owns a home right now and they have an emergency, do you think at some point they're going to have to sell? They're probably going to have a fire sale at some point. And unfortunately, a lot of these people hung onto these homes believing that this rise to the top is going to continue going up. And now it's plateau, prices are coming down, sales are coming down, and people are going to realize that they missed out. And now this thing is going to start dropping and dropping and dropping, and there's going to be less and less qualified buyers, and you're going to have more savvy buyers, because they understand that, hey, this thing is on a downward spiral. The longer we wait, the better deal we're going to get, and that's exactly what's going to happen. The average family has seen real annual earnings fall about $6,000, while higher interest rates have increased borrowing costs another $1,400. So that's $7,400 less than they had a year ago. Only 16% of Americans say that their finances are better off than they were 2 years ago. So let me ask you this. How many of you are better off today? Please comment down below. I would love to know this. How many of you are better off today than you were 2 years ago? Are you doing better? I hope that you are. I mean, that's great news if you are. But what if you're not? Comment down below if you're doing better or you're not doing better. I would love to know. Have you seen your gas bill lately? This is shocking. Our gas bill has gone up 3-4 times. Everybody I know, gas bills have just gone ballistic. And I talked about when I was getting a coffee at McDonald's the other day, this gentleman talking to another gentleman saying that, you know, his gas bill was $256. And he says he's worried. You know, I mean, maybe 1 month it's way up, but if you have consistent months where you're on a fixed income and your gas bill is $250, $300 a month, that's going to present a serious problem for a lot of people. So utility costs going up, gasoline prices have been inching up. I have not seen food prices coming down whatsoever. So, you know, we're being told that, you know, inflation is coming down now and that everything's going to be okay. I don't see it happening. I haven't seen much change. In fact, I just see things getting more expensive. We hear so much about the recession. I've talked about the recession. I think, honestly, we're in a depression at this point. But I think that we probably at this point don't have to worry about a recession. What we have to worry about is a full-on meltdown of the entire system and the tremendous amount of pain that is ahead. Recession, okay. Meltdown, totally different story. We are witnessing and watching the entire system melt down. We cannot get planes to take off out of airports on time. We've had a shipping crisis, a food crisis. We've had processing plants food processing plants burned down. The whole chicken issue with the flu. The massive debts, the deficits, people not getting unemployment checks on time, taking months. The whole system just seems to be melting down. I mean, from the airlines to the railroads to auto production to food production to baby formula production. It just goes on and on and on. And I know I'm missing probably 20 other things, but you could fill in the spaces. But it's just shocking to watch this, just this complete meltdown take place. It just seems that we cannot do anything. On top of that, we let a balloon fly over the entire country for days and did not know what to do about it until it already had flown over from the Pacific to the Atlantic. I mean, we just seem so deficient now. And things are melting down, things are breaking, and this is why it's so imperative that you are planning and preparing for very, very treacherous times, in my opinion. Disney stock soars on job cuts, cost savings after disappointing streaming subs. So here's some more good news. Thousands of people at Disney are about ready to lose their jobs. Disney drops 2.4 million subscribers in first loss. Bob Iger heralds significant transformation underway. I would not give Walt Disney 1 cent of my money. Disney will reorganize, this on CNBC, will reorganize into 3 divisions as it slashes cost and cuts 7,000 jobs. Goodbye to those people. What about those people if they own a home? What are they going to do? What will they do now to make that mortgage payment? You know, I knew somebody in the luxury jewelry business. And this individual living big and living way beyond his means, and of course, lost the job. Now, huge mortgage, car payments, family, credit card debt. What does he do? And this is somebody who continued to drink the Kool-Aid, didn't want to listen. When you're enamored with just trying to be rich and want to be rich and fit in, and you have aspirations of just money, 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 and you want to live big even though you don't have money. To me, wealth is not owing anybody money. Wealth is having everything paid off. Wealth is having no debt. Wealth isn't driving a $1,000 a month Mercedes. It isn't having a $5,000 a month mortgage. It isn't having $50,000 in credit card debt, all while you're making $70,000 a year or less. That to me, you are a very, very poor human being. And unfortunately, a lot of these people spiritually are very poor. And financially, they're very poor, but they want to put on the show. And now, a lot of these people, same type of people, posting everything on social media, the $100 steak dinners in Vegas and the $25 drinks and the beautiful wine and all this. Most of these people you understand, I'm sure most of you already understand, are broke. They just have this fascination with living in a world that they can't afford, pretending to be somebody they're not, going broke, trying to impress you and I with what they drive, what they eat, what they drink. I could care less. If you can afford a great car, you can afford a great zip code, you can afford a great watch, God bless you. You're blessed. Hopefully you appreciate it. I'm sure you worked hard. But it's the people who can't, who try to impress, and they're going broke, trying to impress. And so this individual, he's going to be in serious trouble. He's going to be in very, very serious trouble. But again, wanted to impress, wanted to be something he wasn't, and now going to pay a big price here. And this is going to put a huge strain on the marriage, going to put a strain on his finances. It's going to be a disaster. And I don't want to see any of you fall into this disaster. And that's exactly what it is. It's a major disaster. And people get fooled into it, and they believe everything, that they'll never lose a job, that their spouse will never lose a job. And what happens if you both lose a job? Just unbelievable. Affirm, the buy now, pay now, or excuse me, the buy now, pay later finance company, their stock down 18% today, cuts 19% of its workforce, and the layoffs begin today. So if you work for a firm, I hope that you're not going to lose your house. I hope that you have that 6 to 12 month cash reserve put away. But so many people losing jobs, and this is what's different about this housing market compared to the 08 one. The 08 one was really all these bad loans. This one will be, I think, with all the job losses and inflation, a serious combination of inflation and job losses and people living way beyond their means. Gonna put a lot of people in jeopardy here. Mattel shares tumble after holiday season fails to boost sagging sales. This on CNBC. Their stock price after hours down 11%. For the 3 months ended December 31st, the company reported net income of $16.1 million, a plunge from $225 million a year earlier. And we were told that, Christmas sales were great, in fact, record breaking, and we're beginning to get more and more of the earnings here coming in from a lot of companies that had a dismal Christmas. Mattel, it's a toy company, and they absolutely got destroyed. I'm going to close with this last article coming from The Hedge. It's titled, Peter Schiff, Going to Get Much Worse. Comment down below, is it going to get worse or is it going to get better? He says, we have only seen the beginning of inflation. Is he correct? Have we only begun to see inflation? Is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better? Is the Fed going to get their 2% target like we're told every day? Peter Schiff says credit card debt is at all-time highs, savings at all-time lows. The rates haven't stopped spending or encouraged savings, which needs to happen to bring inflation down. He says the more the Fed props up the economy or tries to stimulate it, the more inflation it creates. I think he's 100% right. And so far, I think Peter Schiff has been spot on. And I think he's going to be proved to be very, very right. I think a lot of you are going to be proven to be very, very right. And at the end of the day, recession, depression, call it whatever you want. The bottom line is this. We are watching a meltdown of the entire system. And you have to be preparing for this now. There is coming a point where people are just not going to have any time to prepare. They're not going to have the means. They're not going to have the money to prepare. We are running out of time. Does that mean that this is 6 months from now, 6 days from now, 6 years from now? I have no idea. Every day I'm trying to do a little bit to fortify my setup, whether that's adding gold, silver, cash, a little extra food, a little extra training, getting to the gym a little bit more. Remember, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, we must be improving daily. This isn't a hobby. This is now a way of life. If you really believe that things are about to collapse or are collapsing right now, which I do, what are you doing about it? You have to be doing something now daily. Walk close to God right now, ladies and gentlemen. Be saying your prayers. That's the best thing you can be doing. And on top of that, you need to be adding assets like food, water, gold, silver, cash. If you can buy some land somewhere that you can farm, raise some food on, if you can move to a rural area, I would highly recommend that. But I understand that probably 99% of people cannot do that. Just don't have the capability, the funds. And let me tell you, it's a big, a lot of people go, why haven't you moved yet? when you're talking moving 2,000 miles, when you have family, when you have business, when you still are looking for a property, when you're watching the markets and you're waiting for the right time and the right property, I'm not going to buy something to prove to somebody that I'm moving. I'll buy something when it's the right time, when God says this is it. But getting all of your ducks in a row, financing the move, it's very expensive. There's just so many moving parts to this, and anybody that has moved cross country understands this. You just don't like pick up and move in a week or a month. There's a lot of planning that goes into this because there's a lot of moving parts. There's other people, there's animals, all kind of things. So, and of course, it's finding the right home, where you're going to be comfortable, where it's what you want at the right price. So, my goal is I'll be in the South hopefully this summer. I'm going to be heading back hopefully in a couple months to continue looking and just waiting this market out. As I've said in the past, one of the best assets you can have right now is patience. And I stand by that. And what I've been telling all of you, sharing with all of you, I would not tell or share any of this with you if I wasn't doing it myself. Why would I do something spontaneously? I just go and buy something while I'm telling everybody to be patient. Make sure you get the best deal. Be patient. Make sure it's the right home for you. I'm going to exercise the same discipline, patience. Could I buy something today? Absolutely. Would I be happy? Probably not, because I want the time and I want to know that it was the right property, that I put in the right time, that I feel right about it, and that I got it for the right price. I still think that these markets are completely overvalued, including the housing market, and that's why I'm going to wait it out. So anybody thinking that I'm not going to move, I know a lot of people are really concerned if I'm going to move or not. I don't know why they're so concerned, but for those people who are very concerned, yes, I'm moving. I promise you, I am moving. And right now the plan is the Deep South. So we'll see how it plays out. But again, I'm not just jumping into a house because, people are pressuring me that I need to move tomorrow. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to make sure it's the exact property, the exact ranch, the exact location I want. And if you're in that situation, if you're looking for a condo, a house, whatever, I hope that you exercise patience also and not just jump in. We are just in the beginning of this housing bubble losing air. It's got a long way to go. And the longer you wait, I think the better deal, the bigger discount you're going to get. So I'm going to leave it there today. Let me know your thoughts. Are things getting better? How are things in your personal economy at home? Is it getting better? Is it better than it was 2 years ago? I really hope it is. But I know that for most people it is not. But let us know. Let us know. And people read these comments. They really do. And it's really saved a lot of people. It's woken up a lot of people. It's shown people that they're not alone, that they're not the only ones feeling the pain. They're not the only ones who's lost a job. They're not the only ones who's had a car repoed or a house lost. They're not the only ones. This is going to happen to a lot more people, a lot of good people. So let's stick together. Please comment down below. Again, those comments are so incredible and so educational and so eye-opening, and just the thinking outside of the box and the honesty and the purity of it. I love it. You really have woken up a lot of people. I'm a person here that sits in front of a camera and I speak for 15, 20 minutes. And I try to explain everything the best that I can. I'm 100% honest with everybody. But I really believe the comments is where the real knowledge is. So thank you to all of you who take the time to comment down below with your honest opinions and what's really happening in your areas and in your part of the country. Keep it up. God bless all of you. I look forward to speaking with all of you very, very soon. God bless. Please say a prayer for this country. We need a miracle. And make sure you don't get complacent. Make sure to stay on track and keep preparing, ladies and gentlemen. Keep preparing.